Hello, Wanzer.
Hello, Edna.
Come in. Have a seat. If Miss Bellwood didn't want to go on these private parties, you know what that means. I wouldn't make her go.
Say, if I had my way, I'd clean up every cabaret like the poodlock in this town. I stay so annoyed when I have to look upon other girls forced to put up with all they have to that it just makes my blood boil.
Well, that was the trouble and why I lost my job. Miss Bellwood is a good girl. She's a good performer, and the people like her. So I was thumbs down on making her do anything other than the work she had been hired to do for her to hold a job. So that's why I'm out of the poodle dog.
That's too bad, Hadnot. But what about your appointment to the detective force?
That's gone through, and I'm starting to work the first of the month.
Good. I'll be glad to welcome you.
Thanks. But getting back to the girl, can you imagine her committing a murder? We couldn't even force her to go on a private party.
I'm positive that she doesn't know anything about it. But this is the law, so you see what we are up against.
Sure, I understand.
Well, get your things on and come on down to the station with me, and we'll see what we can do.
Of course. I'll be ready in a few minutes.
Come in.
Oh, Elsie.
Benny,
Can you imagine such a terrible happening? And to you. Mr. Wanzer brought me the news. I'm so sorry for you.
Oh, yes. Mr. Wanzer has been very kind. Let me thank you again, Mr. Wanzer.
I'm glad to have been of little help. I imagine you and the young lady would prefer to discuss this between yourselves. So you will please excuse me.
Thanks. Now let's have a seat and you can tell me all about it. As I understand it, she had been dead several hours when you found her, after your arrival home.
Oh, it was too terrible for words. Why, I walked about the house talking to her, at intervals, for about 15 minutes after and called, or maybe had called, to see if I had returned home. And when they found that I had, and didn't know that she was dead, then that's the way it all ends. I can't even imagine beyond that.
She was shot between 11 and 12 o'clock last night. Now, what time were you called?
Between 3 and 4 a.m.
She must have been dead at least 3 hours before the girl, according to her story, discovered the body.
Just about.
You know, this case offers something. Here are two colored women living alone together, who one finds the other mysteriously murdered. Now what?
I've detailed Wanzer to investigate it.
That's sensible. Being a colored man, he might be able to find out things that one of our other officers could not.
And I expect him to uncover something by this afternoon.
Come in.
Now tell Mr. Eckert, the district attorney, how you're related to Miss Bellwood and what you know about her aunt.
Well, I don't know that I ought to.
Go ahead, sister. Tell them all about it.
Well, all we know about the murder is what we read in the morning papers. Of course, we know, that is, we knew the victim, Josephine Hawkins. In fact, she was a cousin of ours.
Oh, your cousin. So you were related. All right, go on.
And this Miss Bellwood was her niece and lived with her.
That we have already found out.
Miss Bellwood told us that when we went to her house this morning.
Of course, I merely mentioned the fact so that you'd understand.
Now, what did this Mrs. Hawkins do? How did she live?
You mean Miss Hawkins? She wasn't married, had never been married.
Oh.
No, she owned a beauty parlor that she ran downstairs in the same building.
Have you any knowledge or idea how the expenses of the apartment were shared?
No, I don't know. But I do remember once talking to her and of her saying that she had an awful lot of insurance for a woman, but that Elsie, her niece, had taken it out on her and was paying the premiums.
So she was heavily insured, and her niece, whom we are holding here, paid the premiums, even had the insurance taken out.
That's what she told me.
Just when did she tell you that?
Oh, 3 or 4 months ago, I'd say.
That, of course, could be a motive for the murder. But we want to know more, Mrs. Green. The whole story. All you know.
It's all right, Elizabeth. Go on. Tell them all you know.
Well,
Now, just a minute. Come here. You keep telling her to talk. How about you doing some talking yourself? What are you ordering her to tell? What do you know?
Well, you see, I just got a job to manage the Poodle Dog Cafe last night.
Oh, I see. You got a job to manage the Poodle Dog Cafe, and you got it last night. So what? Yes, he must tell all he knows. A murder has been committed, and the law must find the guilty persons. So tell all you know, if anything, about it.
Well, we don't know anything much, mister. But you said the murder was committed between 11 and 12 o'clock last night. We were at the Poodle Dog Cafe from 9 o'clock last night, waiting to see Mr. Farini and Mr. Garotti about this job. At around 11 o'clock, I